Alpha male top dog DeleteLawz has a girlfriend and sexual dysfunction. Says he only wants to cuddle. Is there something wrong with him? Floyd Wallace says that women who can't understand him and don't reply to him are all racist. Do you agree with his assessment? The angry vet gets free pass from exposés and gets to criticize First Amendment Protection Agency. What a country! All this and more on this edition of Auditing Insanity. Welcome to the Sunday. Jim's working on Sunday? What the hell? Edition of the Auditing Insanity Newscast powered by ReallyCoolNews. I'm AI Johnny Jones, and I'm going to be your host for a quick one today, as you might not see us again until Tuesday. What? Where? When? Okay, let's ask you to focus on
DeleteLawz complains about lack of sex drive. In an apparent attempt to out-creepify fellow First Amendment auditor and accused scammer Floyd Wallace, Jose Chili de Castro announced on his Saturday livestream that he had a new woman in his life who can testify that as the ultimate alpha male, he enjoys cuddling and holding instead of lovemaking. De Castro cited his advanced age for problems in the bedroom, again, indicating that his partner has to initiate sexual contact as he's just happy to be near the person. Implying that it was one of his fans, he said that if she identifies herself, she can speak volumes on his performance in the bedroom. Saturday's livestream was as impotent as De Castro's love life, with the YouTuber breaking into his JD character to do a single prank call to a sheriff's department for yet another fleeting outrage that no one will remember past the weekend. This time over an officer from a southern state who took a woman to the ground after she passed too closely to his car during a traffic stop. While the woman was driving on a suspended license, and she did come dangerously close to the officer. Her case went to trial and was eventually dismissed based on lack of probable cause for the officer to initiate an arrest. De Castro used this video, among others, to desperately plead for his fans to buy his indestructible trifold product, indicating that he was going to use all of the money from the sales to fund sending out physical copies to everyone he could afford to do so who asked for a free trifold. Furthering a current trend, he also asked his fans to donate directly to him through the donate link on his website. Again, indicating that half of their donations would go to funding sending trifolds out and the rest would go to funding the commissary books of Craig Hendry and Don Newman, who remain in jail despite no efforts at all by De Castro to free either one. De Castro then explained to his audience that capitalism was good, despite some decrying the First Amendment auditing movement turning into a money-making scam. He defended First Amendment Protection Agency for ducking out on a frauditor troll debate, as those who oppose auditing don't deserve to be promoted or helped in any way. The diminutive YouTuber went on to explain that despite his altruistic nature, he was a capitalist at heart and would be keeping some of the money donated to his cause for profit. He also said he was torn about the incoming Trump administration as it would mean more opportunities to make money, however he feared that Trump would further turn the United States into a prison state death state. De Castro also claimed that when he becomes governor, he would make it a crime for any police officer to ever lie about anything, and if found guilty of lying, they would be immediately fired from their jobs and have their peace officer certificates permanently stripped. The future governor signed off, promising another live stream later in the weekend.
Frauditor blames racism for lack of dates in Brazil. It was business as usual for YouTuber Floyd Wallace as he broadcast from a cheap hotel in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and decrying the disrespect he felt after multiple romantic interests posted new things to their social media profiles while ignoring his multiple attempts to communicate with them. Wallace was fresh off his Friday night date with a hostess-turned pay-for-play worker, who fled his presence after seeing messages in Portuguese from his side chat, identifying Wallace as a felon from the United States who lied about his identity. Despite previously announcing his Friday night sex partner as the new co-host of his live streams, the woman did not appear and was not mentioned during the live stream. Instead, Wallace muddled through the event, giving excuses as to why women were ignoring his texts. To the everyday viewer, it was simply because Floyd is very aggressive in his approach and does not know how to say, "You're a beautiful woman," and "good" in Spanish. While he is occasionally able to use a translation application to communicate further with the women, he said that it was disrespectful to communicate this way. For that reason, he said that he was done with Latin American countries and set his sights on returning to Thailand or the Philippines. He claimed it would be easier to go to a country where he would be able to communicate directly with the women he was betting, and there would be no more problems. Eventually, Wallace became frustrated after initiating contact with another woman on his phone and her ignoring his text despite being active on social media. This time, Wallace again repeated claims that Brazil was a racist country that singled out dark-skinned black men for mistreatment. He then recalled how wonderful Rio de Janeiro was in his previous visit to the city. He went to his usual refrain about cities changing and how tourism ruined his precious Rio. Women were more educated and westernized, and the city turning from a city of romance into a den of pay-to-play women who would not give sexual encounters freely. Wallace fundraised for his trip to Salvador to meet his friend Fred while promising exclusive content featuring he and Fred, who is newly single according to Wallace, partaking in salsa dancing, clubbing, and enjoying the finest cultural spots in Brazil. Wallace apparently quit the stream after failing to raise the $80 he was seeking, taking the stream down as we were reviewing it, despite promising at the start of the stream that it would be left up for all to review. The YouTuber is expected to go live again each day until he either achieves his fundraising goal or gets paid by YouTube on January 21st, 2025, and can travel freely again. FOPA gets called out by the angry vet. Here's the deal. Controversial First Amendment auditor Kevin, the angry vet, Soper was one of the first members of the First Amendment auditing community to disparage on Saturday the decision by the YouTuber, known as First Amendment Protection Agency, FOPA, to skip his debate with Frauditor Troll. FOPA had advertised the debate on his channel as he was going to destroy Frauditor Troll, as he was the greatest First Amendment auditor alive, and that no one could withstand his flex for freedom. When the time for the meeting came on Friday, FOPA backed out, stating a mix of excuses, including that he had already previously defeated Frauditor Troll in a debate in 2024, that Frauditor Troll never showed his face, and was a possible Canadian. While FOPA would eventually get support from mentor Jose Chili de Castro, after being decimated by Soper and later Brian, here's the deal Young, who both echoed each other's statements that FOPA was a coward for backing out of the event. FOPA would also receive criticism for a recent video where he freely pepper-sprayed a 68-year-old woman, claiming he was in fear of his life, when he had not used the same tactics on an armed old man in a previous encounter. His use of jump cuts and voiceovers in the supposed unedited footage of his recent audits, his apparent fear of conducting audits inside government buildings, and for his general obnoxious attitude. Soper's video was not without controversy as he was broadcasting to all of his viewers, apparently ignoring his previous pledges to do members-only live coverage and to end his disparagement of other First Amendment auditors. The controversial YouTuber also picked up an endorsement of sorts from the person credited for taking part in the takedown of Daniel Jones of the Welsh News Network and the recent exposure of Irish Demon as the hacker and porn bomber of Jose Chili de Castro. That individual, when presented with Soper participating in the side chat of their follow-up exposé on Demon, stated that they didn't care about Soper's controversies surrounding Soper as he made them laugh and was a welcome addition to their side chat. Soper's return to live streaming did nothing to spark the market, as both his GoFundMe and GiveSendGo accounts put up goose eggs for Friday and Saturday. The rest of the market joined him in dealing with said unwanted eggs, as no other accounts saw donations for the start of the weekend.
Journalism is not free. Both ReallyCoolSite.org's daily newspaper and our daily newscasts are funded by your continuing donations and what we make from our YouTube AdSense revenue each month. If you'd like to contribute to help us keep the lights on, eating, keeping the cats fed, and writing new stories to feature on both the newspaper and newscast each day, we do have a GoFundMe set up at the address on screen right now. If you can't afford to contribute, please watch the advertisements on our videos, like, share, subscribe, and comment. You can help by doing next to nothing, and we thank you in advance for pitching in.
And we're back. We're not sure what human assistant Jim Finch is up to, but we're here on a Sunday for no apparent reason. So hey, hope you've had a great Sunday and that you'll tune in tonight for the best of show, almost immediately following this broadcast. On that note, I'm out of here. Stay warm and have a great weekend.